So we are finally live. Nice. It worked. So we're not going to start until 2, but yeah, I wanted to. Already 5 people there. You can. It's actually super weird for me not to have you in front of me. So if you would like to comment like a thumb up or something or a hi, that would be nice. Yeah, it's so funny. I feel like today I kind of feel like I know how artists feel because like it's not only that you take care of your performance, you have to take care of the sound and oh hi, so nice to see you all. Yeah, you kind of perfect, Christoph. Thank you for letting me know. So is the sound okay? Do you understand me okay? And the internet connection? It has been a wild ride actually because yeah, we kind of had some technical problems. Hi, oh, so schön dich zu sehen. Voll gut. Yeah, actually, like we had a little technical trouble, and yeah, we were kind of stressed out because of that. So, but we tried to. Hey, hi, Mike. So nice. Oh, perfect. That's good to know. Yeah. Um, it's funny because everybody is now trying to cope with the digital world, and actually, I think it's quite a good idea to. I mean, I still very much love to talk to people in person, but the internet makes so many things possible, and I really like, yeah, that you can, yeah, get in touch with a lot of people from all over the world and from different cities in Germany and stuff. So I'm quite liking it, but it's so weird not to look into your faces. But I really appreciate you being here, actually. So, how to manage the comments? Yeah, maybe I can tell you that I'm such a bad multitasker, actually. Charlotte, she, yeah, I thought, well, I kind of had a bet with myself who would be the first to notice the Spice Girls poster. Actually, there comes a story with it. I'm such a big Spice Girls fan. I used to be, and I always consider them to be like my guilty pleasure. But my colleague Norman always says like, it's no guilty pleasure. They're great, and I'm like, yes, yeah, I'm not ashamed that I like them still. So, Spice Girls, yay, fangirl. Um, yeah. So I think we have 2 minutes left. What did I want to say? I think I started with something and I already forgot. Um, yeah. So, whenever you have questions, well, I will tell it later on as well. But whenever you have questions, just put it into the comments. And I'm trying to overlook everything, but I'm super bad in multitasking, I think. So this is super exciting for me. Yeah, but I think, well, actually, if 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever questions are not answered in this session, I'm very, very happy to answer it later on. So we can still be in touch after the session. So no worries. There's nothing lost, actually. Yeah. So, and oh yeah, and if something changes, like the sound or the internet connection or something, I mean, I can't really change it, I think. But if something goes wrong, just let me know so I can kind of try to react. Yeah, it's crazy times. Savit, yeah, nice to see you here, and yeah, I hope you will like my input actually. Um, So I, of course, think everybody of you is doing fine and is healthy and safe. And I know it's been crazy times this year, and especially for you as maybe artists, it's such a hard time. Like you can't go on tour, you can't really plan, and everybody is now on the internet doing sessions and doing sessions for free. And yeah, it's troubling times, and I hope you are all doing fine. And I'm pretty much appreciating that you're all here and want to listen to some stuff we're doing. So I think it's 2 o'clock. We can just start with the live stream. So hi everybody, I'm so glad that you're all here, and thank you so much Music Pool for inviting me to that little session. I'm very much enjoying the workshops at Music Pool, so I was very happy to do one little online session for you as well. Friedrichshain, yay! I think somebody before mentioned that it's quite dark, like the picture is quite dark. I'm very sorry, I'm in Friedrichshain as well, and I'm sitting in a dark room with not a lot of sun, but I think most important is that you can hear me quite good. So welcome everybody, and well, actually I want to talk about communities today. I want to talk about how to build a fan base online. And actually, maybe it's time to introduce myself. Maybe some of you know me already. I did some workshops at Music Pool concerning social media and storytelling, and Hamburg, yay! Sorry, I'm reacting to the comments. It's quite disturbing, I'm sorry. So I'm doing social media workshops at Music Pool and storytelling workshops. I did Instagram workshops as well. And but well, my company is called, I also made signs, Super Unknown. And as you can see, we are 3 people. It's me, Tine, and it's Norman. He is, I think he will comment a little bit in the comments to kind of help me out. And the 3rd person of Super Unknown is Sophia. She's our intern who has been quite brave, because she's now back at her parents because we can't meet in the office, and everything is a little bit complicated for us as well. So at Super Unknown, what are we doing? Well, basically we are helping artists to communicate with their fans, because we strongly believe that building a strong community and a strong fan base is so crucial these times, actually. Norman is doing his best. Yeah, so we are working with bands who, well, come to us and say like, okay, I'm doing my art and I really want to spread the word, and I want to have fans, and I want to have a fan base who support us and stuff. And so we kind of specialized in helping artists who really want to build a community, because actually when social media came up, well, a lot of people just collected followers and stuff. And that's actually the first thing that people tell us when they come to us. Like when we ask them, what do you want? They're like, we want more followers. And we're like, okay, then just buy some. That's really, really easy. And then it's like, oh, well, but what else can I do? So I think there's a lot of times there's a misunderstanding what a follower is and what a fan is. And of course, what every artist really wants is some fans who support them long term, and who, well, actually, well, kind of help them to live off their music. And I think the Corona crisis and the situation now kind of well, shows us what happens when, like, the only thing where artists nowadays are able to earn money is like gone, like the live sector and everything. So we have worked with a lot of artists who get most of their money out of their live concerts. And of course, merchandising that they sell live, and of course the vinyls and all the stuff that they sell live. But if the live concerts are not there, how do you earn money and how do you live? And so actually there are some artists who did kind of like a better, did a better job with that by kind of building a community and living off that. And my most important, I kind of, before I really go into the topic, I want to tell you, so I kind of try to give you an insight what other artists do and did in the past to build a fan base. And then you can ask any questions you have. And you can of course ask questions in between, but I just start going. So I think my kind of hero in that sector, like a woman who managed to build like a huge fan base, is my very, very much loved Amanda Palmer. I hope you know her. If not, you should get to know her because I think she's the queen of community. Like maybe some people know her from the early 2000s when she had a band, Dresden Dolls, and she toured and everything. And like when I saw her play live for the first time, I kind of, after the concert, saw how deeply connected she was with her fan base. And that kind of really blew me away because that was something I really didn't see before. But because she kept such a super close relationship to her fans, she's now able to live out of them. And she has a certain platform where she keeps all her super fans. Well, she doesn't keep there, but hi, Clara. She uses the platform Patreon. I don't know if you heard of that. It's a platform where, you can support an artist long term. So when Norman and I talked to Amanda Palmer last year, which was quite a nice experience, she told us that Patreon is kind of like, if crowdfunding or something is some kind of relationship, then Patreon is marriage. So Patreon is like really a big step of, having an artist, of supporting an artist, because you give them money every month. But if you do so, you don't have a problem or if you have a community like that supports you like that, then you don't have a lot of problems to survive such a crisis like now. And like when I think of Amanda Palmer and when I think about her, like what does she do differently? Then the first thing that comes to my mind is like she is there all the time. Like she really is online. She's really there for her people. She tells all the stories and she's like really there. And a lot of people who come to us are quite afraid of, sharing stuff online. Maybe they share stuff, but they come to us and say like, okay, I don't know what I should do, and I can't only post music. I need to do something else and stuff. And Amanda kind of found out what her fans liked about her. And this is the second thing. If you want to build a fan base anywhere, if offline or online, it doesn't matter. You kind of have to know why the people are following you. Like what is it? Why do they like you? What do they expect from you? How do you make them feel? What do they want? And if you kind of find out that, and of course, the offline world is a perfect place to find out things like that, to be honest. And I remember that Amanda once said something on the internet that she said, okay, offline first, online second. Because it's quite, well, it's easier to build a connection to people when you see them face to face, of course. But if you make something that makes other people feel good, like your fans feel good, or yeah, people feel good, then I think it works online as well. So yeah. So a lot of people then ask us, okay, how should I find out what people like? And I'm always saying, like, just ask them. And of course you can, you know, like, I think a big problem about social media is that people don't misunderstand it and kind of see it like a one-way path. But it is not like that, because it's a social medium, so you kind of need to interact. That's another thing that people who were able to build a fan base, a proper fan base online did. They connect with their people. They talk to them. They ask them questions. They are interested in them. And this is crucial. Like, if you want to build a fan base, like a real fan base, people who support you long term, then you need to, you know, really connect with them. That's so important. And I've heard of some artists who said, like, I don't care about the people that I'm, you know, that listen to my music, or I don't want to talk to them. I don't know what to say. If you think like that, I think building like a proper fan base online is not the way to go for you. And of course, I see the people who say, like, okay, what did the people do, I don't know, years ago when social media was not there? And actually, I have quite a good example for that, because Norman and I, we used to work for a Schlager artist. And she's huge in Germany. And Andrea Berg, I don't know if you know her. Yes, we worked for her. But actually, she did the exact same thing. Well, not with social media in the first place, but when she played, and even when she played like huge venues, she came out after the concert and talked to the people. And it was always important to her what they think. And you might not think that a big artist like her, takes care of her fans anymore, or wants to know what they think and what they desire. But she knows exactly why the people are following her. And so she can serve them in a way. And that makes so much sense, actually. So I'm talking and talking and talking, but are there any questions so far, or something you would like me to talk about? Maybe it's good to make a little break right now to see if there is something. Take your time. I have a lot of other topics to talk to, but I'm kind of, well, I said it in the beginning, I'm such a bad multitasker, actually. But maybe I can serve you with another example. And actually, this is a very good one when it comes to building a community and how he did it. And it's actually nothing. It's not a musical. It's not a musical example. It's more like a yoga example. And I'm talking about, well, actually, he's a friend of mine. I know him because he used to play in a hardcore band, or he still plays there. Boys Sets Fire, if you know them. He's the bassist, Robert, but he also, like, he has a love for yoga and movement and everything. So he's a yoga instructor, yoga teacher, and his kind of system is called Becoming Me. We will actually put the links to the Instagram and everything in the comments, actually. So don't worry if you don't remind it. But what Robert did was, like, he really wanted to have a community around his system. So what he did was he kind of, well, of course, he went to do the offline yoga sessions and everything. but he really cares about the health and things his concern. He is doing hardcore. He's doing hardcore social media, so he reminds the people of his sessions. And right now, what he's doing is he's doing Zoom online sessions of his yoga practice. And what he does is not only sitting there and telling people about himself. His aim is to make people feel good and to try to transport it. And he constantly asks people to tell him what they think. He wants them to send pictures, how they practice and everything. So he really, really connects. And he is online all the time. And he tries to give the people stuff that they can practice at home and everything. So you really feel that he cares about his followers. So step by step, and I think he started it maybe 3 years ago or something. And over the time, he collected like a real community who are so dedicated and who go to his sessions like, every week. And so this is another like really good example for be there for your people and give them something that that makes them feel good. And for knowing that, or for doing that, you have to know what people makes them feel good. So there are questions, and I'm so sorry. Now it starts with the not being able to. So Melanie, hi Melanie. Is this a quarantine haircut? Yes, it is. Well, actually, I had it before. Oh yeah. Well, I think when I don't press the wrong button, this session will be archived. So, Norman, you could answer that questions as well for me. Do you need a following to grow a following? Well, this is actually a pretty good question, because a lot of people come to us and say like, okay, where do we start? Because like, if you don't have a following, how do you grow it? But actually, everybody has people that know, everybody knows people. And what a lot of people do, they have a new song and they have this new project, and then they're like, oh yeah, I need reach. So what are they doing? They're doing Facebook advertisement and Instagram advertisement to like really get the numbers. But the problem is that who is interested in people they don't know? Like especially in the music business, where there is new songs out every day and week and stuff. So it's very, very hard to get through, and especially to people who don't know you. So I would always recommend start with the people that you already know, that already like you. And of course it starts with family. Of course it starts with friends, but they are the most likely to kind of spread the word. And even if your fan base is only 20 people, then be like really close to that 20 people and write them personally and like get really close. And if the stuff that you're doing is any good, they will talk about it. Of course they will. And if they don't talk about the music, maybe they talk about how you treat them. So I think this is like super important. So of course, I think everybody already has kind of like a following. And even if it's, only the closest people that are around you. And and so it starts. Organic reach, paid ads on your channels. What's the balance? What's the best strategy? Oh, well, I kind of said before, I know the pain of you artists that it's so hard to reach people organically. I really, really feel it. And actually we feel it as well, because like we're working with these artists and you have such a good content, and then you see like, okay, only 1/10 of the people that follow you see the stuff. The problem is everybody knows, okay, I should do ads, I should sponsor it. And I actually I don't know a lot of people who told me that it was really successful with the ads, actually. So what we are trying to do now is to find a way to reach the people personally. So we kind of own the contacts. So like 2,000 fans on Facebook, what does it mean? Maybe it means nothing because they do follow you, but do they really follow you? So we try to we try to convince the people of, really collecting mail addresses and get the people to a different platform. Because like if Facebook says, okay, I'm pulling the plug, then everything is gone. And this is what happens actually, or what happened already. Years ago, you could reach every fan that you had on Facebook, and now nothing, and you can't do anything with it. I have this great example of the band we are working with, the Trouble Notes. I don't know if you know them already. It's kind of like it's a trio that does instrumental music, and they actually build a huge fan base online based on a viral video, or a video that went viral. And maybe people would say now, okay, it's easy when you have a viral video to get people and stuff. But what they did was they had this viral video and it was quite successful. So they knew, oh, it's something that people like. So what they did was, or what they received, and that was quite smart. They got a lot of messages because the people saw the video and they were quite inspired. So they got in touch with everybody who wrote them a message on Facebook. And what I said was, okay, where are you based? And what's your email address? Because if we are anywhere close to you, we will write you a mail so you come to the concert. So just like that, they got all these email addresses and all the information about the people that liked them. And of course, like, somebody wrote you because they enjoyed the music. So of course, when you write them back, they will be happy because they were the ones who asked you, Actually, that is something that we did with the band a lot. Like, they really have this personal contact to the people, and wherever they are, they try to get like mail addresses or maybe phone numbers or whatever it is, to really make sure to reach the people. But still, for them, of course, it's complicated. And Rodrigo asked me about the strategy, and actually, I have to say it really depends. Sometimes, if you're not sure what kind of fan base is your what kind of target group is your target group, it can make sense to try it out with advertisement and see how people react. Actually, Facebook advertisement, Instagram advertisement is not that super expensive. So I think making tests and stuff does make sense. Also, like, if you have a video or something that is super important to you and you really want everybody to see it, then it can make sense to make an advertisement. But in the long run, you can't advertise everything you do. So I would really, really recommend to get more personal contact and really own the contacts of your fans. So how do you beat Facebook and Insta? How to filter out the post aside from paying them? Well, I think I kind of talked about that dilemma. Do you say dilemma in English? I don't know. Yes. I'm sorry. Multitasking. I should make a next time with the live stream. I should prepare an advertisement, an ad that just comes in. I don't know. Clara, what do you think about daily posts that are not really related to music but more to the person? What do you think about sharing the story of a song? It's great. Actually, of course, like, the thing is, like, if your fans want to get to know you or you tell them interesting stories, they will absolutely appreciate that. There's so many artists out there who tell their personal stories about the songs and about anything. Like, the thing is just, you kind of have to find out what people enjoy. I'm sure that there are fans who like enjoy when the artists are releasing videos and all the stuff, like videos, music videos, or maybe a song, or maybe an acoustic session, or whatever. But some are super excited to hear the personal stories. Actually, and to go back to my, where is it? To Amanda Palmer, she's sharing personal stories all the time. And good storytelling does make so much sense. Everybody, you are interested in stories as well. Everybody is. So, yeah, absolutely, Clara. Do tell your stories and find out what people enjoy and what people want to talk about. But always remind yourself that being present on social media also means that you kind of should interact and should see what people want from you, and maybe ask them questions as well, and to make a little dialogue out of it. What different platform do you mean? Mailing list? Yes. Yeah, I told about different platforms, and by owning contact, I mean, like, okay, well, if you have a fan on Facebook, and Facebook is gone, or if they already sent you a message, I think you can contact them personally. But if not, you can't reach these followers. So it does make sense to, at some point, have a different contact of them, maybe an email address or a phone number. I know that especially people from the older generations have a little bit of trouble to build, groups and all the stuff, like WhatsApp groups and such. But this is an opportunity as well. Also, you can have your own platform, of course. Like, you can have a cool website with, where you can connect with the people, or you have some kind of crowdfunding platform like Patreon. I can really highly recommend, even if you're not already there, to like really go to patreon.com and read about, well, they have a nice blog where they kind of talk about success of creators and stuff. And the Patreon system is like really new for, especially people in Germany, actually. But it's such a nice way to keep your art alive and not to be too dependent on like single steps, like a release or a tour or something like that. So well, actually, in the near future, Norman and we will do a community workshop where it's more about Patreon and everything. But I highly recommend to look at the platform. But if you are not having a fan base yet, it's not for you right now. But but you can already learn what people do there. That's quite interesting. So mailing list, trouble notes, Tina. I'm sorry, I have to read that. Did you hear the kid in the background? That's a problem with doing live streams at home. I have a 6-year-old roommate, and she doesn't like homework and she doesn't like isolation, so she screams a lot. But she's okay. We treat her well. Oh, Giuseppe, this is quite a question that we get a lot. Like, how often should we post? There are different answers to that, actually, because the problem is, like, what we don't want is to tell people post every day and then you get the best reach, and then you post crap, or you are burned out after 1 or 2 weeks because you have to post every day. We don't want that. Post if you have something to say. But of course, if you only post once in 2 or 3 weeks, it's so hard to keep up with the people, and they don't forget you, but like if you're not there, if you're not online, if you don't talk to the people, if you don't do stuff, you're not relevant to the people. So it's hard to find a balance, but what I can like really recommend is like to really think at first, what can I do like the whole year long, or what can I do like for the next 3 months to entertain my crowd? Because like social media is it's not only about sharing music. You don't have a new song every day or every 3 days, and it's also like super boring to, well, that was quite funny. I worked with a band for a very short time, and they were super excited to get a single out, their first single in years. So what they did, like, they did a countdown for a whole fucking month, like a month. Every day they said like, okay, 23 days left until the single is released, and you always had like a little snippet only, you know. And I thought it was quite hilarious because it was super boring and people wouldn't take attention and everything. So yeah. So this is boring, but what can you do to really entertain your people? And everybody has a different answer to that. But what I can tell you is like, don't feel pressured to post every day, because it will burn you out, and that's not something that we want you know. But be there, be online. If you want to build a fan base online, you have to be online. That's the rule, the cruel rule. So, what is your attitude experience on WhatsApp Messenger advertising? I actually, maybe I don't have an attitude concerning like directly that kind of advertisement format, because to be honest, I don't have any, I don't have any experience with advertisement on WhatsApp messaging, actually. And that has something to do with that I'm really, really, really careful with advertisement in general, like for artists, because I feel like it's not conceived that well and stuff. And also because artists are having quite a hard time to make good ads, to be honest. Like, they're quite not so exciting and stuff. So actually I have to, like I'm now talking stuff and it has no content. So I'm actually passing on that because I'm having no experience with that. Maybe Norman has something to say to that. I would be grateful if you could answer that now for me. Okay, Christina asks, I wanted to ask you for some example of effective storytelling on social media. How long should it be, in your opinion, a post? Sometimes I read really long ones and I get bored halfway, which is a pity. The story really get lost. Actually, I think it really depends. I think you have to try it out. I will always recommend to try it out because I've well, again with Amanda, she's my favorite. With Amanda, she writes long stories, long stories, and nobody is annoyed, and everybody reads it. Not everybody, but people read it, read the whole thing. She wrote a book, a really good one actually, and people are enjoying it. So if you get bored, maybe it's because the story is not that interesting, maybe. Or maybe people that follow you, they like different kinds of stories. So I think there is really no rule. And actually, I think a few months back, I would have said, okay, please keep it short. because people don't have an attention span, or they have an attention span like a goldfish. You say goldfish, right? But I actually don't believe in that anymore. I kind of right now, I'm recommending people to give them more context, and to really tell stories to entertain and also to keep the attention of the people. So actually, I know what you mean. I know that bad stories get lost, and sometimes it has to do because they're really long. And it's actually I have, when it comes to newsletters or mail outs, we had a discussion in our agency a lot of times because I don't know how you feel, but a lot of newsletters are really, really boring because they're so long. And the minute you open up the newsletter, you see okay, this is so long, I will not get through it, so I just delete it. And for me, with newsletters, I feel like if I open it and I see that I can make it through it, then I will read it. But of course, that depends. I'm different than somebody else. So if you tell interesting stories, and if you tell people things that they like and that they enjoy, they will of course read long texts and long stories. But you have to try it out. Try out what the people like and ask them if they enjoyed it. That's the easiest way to get feedback. Just ask people. So I'm ready for some more questions, actually. Or did I miss something? If I missed the question, please, maybe Norman can put it in the comments again. Actually, at the beginning, I wanted to tell you another story of a couple that came to our, we also do, for Music Pool, we do some face-to-face consultancy thing. So that people to our office and we have 2 hours to talk about stuff and problems and needs and anything. So these 2 came to us and asked the question that everybody asks, okay, we want to have more followers and stuff. And so we were asking them what they already did and stuff. And they told us they did a crowdfunding campaign a few weeks back, and it succeeded and stuff. And it was really, a really small amount of money, I think 2,000 euros or something. So, but it succeeded. So then I asked them, okay, that is quite nice that you got 2,000 euros from your fans. So where did you get all these? And they were like, well, Facebook. So they didn't really know. And I think they kind of, they knew, okay, they wanted to have more Facebook fans because that kind of crowdfunding worked for them. So we kind of asked a little bit deeper into the topic and asked them okay, did you know the people that gave you money for the crowdfunding or who participated in the crowdfunding? And they said, well, yes, we knew a lot of them. And so we asked, how many? And they said, well, actually, we knew everybody of them. And the only one we didn't know in the first place was somebody who went to see us in a concert, and we gave them a sticker where we told them, okay, we're doing crowdfunding for an EP or something. So it turned out that they knew, I think it was about 40 people who donated all the money for their crowdfunding, and they knew all of them. So this is always my point and always my story when it comes to, okay, less people or not a lot of people can make a big difference. You don't need everybody. You need a special amount of people, a certain amount of people, and you have to serve them and give them good content, and so they will give something back. Their love, for instance. People, we have, I didn't say one thing. I think in the event, in the Facebook event, it said that our little session is from 2 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm very sad to tell you, but this is not true. We have 20 minutes left, so it's only 1 hour, but I think that's enough, well, for my taste. But just that you know, that was, yeah, a little break from my side. Only 1 hour. So you have 20 minutes left to ask some questions. No? Norman, maybe you can see if I kind of lost a question on the way. So maybe I can talk about Patreon a little bit more, because like actually they invade the German market now. They try to invade the German market now. Well, actually, I'm always talking about Patreon. There's a German or European thingy that is called Steady. And like Patreon or Steady Us is mostly used right now with podcasters and people who do online magazines and stuff, and who ask their followers and consumers to give them long-term support to do their art or to do their content and anything. So and the problem with Patreon is, or it's not a problem, it's like Patreon is basically it's a social platform like every other platform, but you read it like a blog, actually. Like you can make posts and you can share videos. You can also do live streaming and all the stuff. But it's like if you want to join a Patreon page, you kind of have to contribute a certain amount of money, and you can do that. It depends on what the artist had in their settings, but it's recommended to say like, okay, give us a monthly fee, and it starts with $1. That's the least amount. And actually, to think about it, like as a fan, to contribute $12 or euros a year for an artist is not a lot. It's not even a CD and stuff. So, but it's kind of like it's actually, Patreon is an opportunity for fans to contribute and to support the artist besides a concert or besides a release or something like that. Because I mean, otherwise, I mean, you can buy merch, you can of course buy concert tickets, and of course you can buy CDs and stuff, but then there's no way where I can support my, favorite artists. So Patreon is a very good platform to see it from that point. Like, it's a very good opportunity for big fans to contribute. And it's the same with crowdfunding. But the problem with crowdfunding is that it's only for one project, and you really say, okay, I want to pay for the production and everything. But the Patreon is some long-term stuff. And actually, to say some numbers, like Amanda Palmer has now, and I think she's by far the most successful artist on Patreon. She has around 15,000 people who are backing her every month. So that's what it is, and it sounds great, right? There are some more questions. You're great. Put together a fan base on a single platform like Instagram, for example, and later move down. Actually, like, well, the problem with multiple platforms is, I mean, like a lot of, when all the social media platforms popped out, a lot of people said, okay, I have to be here, I have to be there, and I have to do this and this and this. And the problem is, what everybody did was they posted the same stuff on Instagram and the same stuff on Facebook and the same stuff on Twitter, and without really knowing what Twitter is all about and how it's used and stuff. So they couldn't really focus on a certain platform and just did the job of throwing out stuff. Actually, I would always recommend to really focus on your favorite platforms and to make a decision. Like, if you don't like Facebook, if you don't know what it's doing for you, if you don't have the capacity, then leave it on the side and focus on the platform that you really like and where you feel like you can serve the fans best. This is always my recommendation, and it's so hard to convince people to do that because everybody feels, okay, when I'm not here, I'm not going to be successful in anything. Well, the thing is, like, if you have YouTube and you do things on YouTube sometimes and sometimes not, it won't help you. So my biggest advice is, like, if you want to be really good in something, you have to work with it. So if you want to grow a fan base on Instagram, you have to be on Instagram. You have to connect with people on Instagram. You have to write them and exchange and do stuff. And, like, actually, this is a great challenge for the lockdown. Actually, like, give you 1 month, and this 1 month you spend every day 2 hours of getting to know Instagram or any other platform that you like. So you will do some research about what works with Instagram, what doesn't. You make some research on Instagram artists who are successful already, and then you work with your fan base. And you do it for a whole month, like every day 2 hours or something. There will be a change, 100%. If you do good stuff, it will work. Because you will get better in the stuff you learn something in. That has always worked, I think. So, oh, and then and the other question: which platform would you suggest for musicians to build the fastest way? I have to think of a song of one of my favorite artists, Tine Theurich. Sometimes the fastest. Oh God, now I don't know the lyrics anymore. The fastest way is to go slow or something. I don't want to recommend something that is the fastest, like, and because I can't really answer that, to be honest. Like, please decide what kind of network really suits you. Some people do a lot of visual and video stuff, so I would recommend to go on a platform where you have great possibilities for video. If somebody is like, now a lot of people ask us about TikTok and stuff, no? And so TikTok is, well, it is for people who like to do funny stuff, funny video stuff, but you can't just put some random video to TikTok. You really have to dive into it, but it's not for everybody. So choose wisely and choose the platforms that you really like. A lot of artists love Instagram for some reason. I think it's because it's easy, but to be honest, like, a lot of, it's for music, it's not the best platform. And a lot of artists don't have a swipe up, so they can't really link to their music and stuff. So it's not so cool, but a lot of people say my fans are there. And I feel like I have a good community on Instagram, so they choose that. So, well, try to find the best platform for you, and then you put all your energy in that. That's my recommendation. So, do you find Facebook fan pages make sense comparing to personal page people can follow and Instagram? I'm concerned about the time aspect of being present on too many platforms. Yes, that's right. I find great to be in contact with people interested in my work to share about it. Oh, there was more. Just find at the end I should have enough time for actually working on my sound. Big problem. I know that, yeah, it's artists have to take care of so much and a lot of communication, and there you get lost in time. So I would definitely recommend, and this is something that I did some, actually I did some Patreon courses lately, and there is this one really good tip for Patreon, but it's also a good tip for social media. Share stuff and do stuff that you would do anyways. Like if you know, like if you kind of have the plan to make a songbook to put out on your merch table when you're on tour, make a social media thingy around it. Make a big happening around it, or I don't know, or share how you do it or whatever. Like I don't have an idea. It's very spontaneous now, but you know, like do stuff on social media that you would do anyways. And maybe it's something that you really wanted to be good at as an artist. So just share your life and share what you're doing. Don't think of too many things that you would do at the side to please your audience and do the sound and your music on the other side. Put it together and try to make it one, you know? So this might be easy. And when it comes to the platforms, well, if you feel like you reach a lot of people with your personal Facebook and then also have your, you know, other Facebook, use them both. If you feel like, okay, this is working fine for you, just do it. I think it's no problem. I know it's a little bit of double work, but actually I had a lot of people who had this, I think it was something that they started when Facebook came up. They had their personal profile and then they had their fan page and stuff. And a lot of people told me that they would reach more people with their personal profile and not too many people with their other profile, but they didn't want to delete the fan page. Of course they didn't, because you have different opportunities with this one. So just keep them and try to work with both. I think there it's no problem to post similar stuff, I think. I hope I could answer that. Yeah, maybe this is something I really have to talk. Well, I kind of said it before. If you don't have a proper fan base, it is no good idea to go to Patreon. Definitely not. So this is something you have to do first, like to collect people who care about you. Because if you start to do Patreon, and I've seen it a lot of times, people started to have Patreon and then they have 2 patrons. They give them, I don't know, $2 a month or $1 a month. So 2 patrons, $1 a month is $24 a year. So, and if you don't have a proper fan base, it's very hard to get more people on the Patreon, because you really have to be close to the artist already until you do that kind of commitment. So then, people pay you on Patreon that you make content. So then you make Patreon content for 2 people, and it's 24 euros for you a year, and that just doesn't make any sense. And it's actually from you have 2 people in your community. So the only thing is, like, I think that the system of Patreon, and also like the thought of valuing music and what artists do, that's something that is worth following and worth thinking about. So even if you don't have a fan base, it is a good idea to dive into the Patreon world and see what other people did, because you can really learn from them and how they managed to grow an audience. So, can you share a success story specifically related to your company? Actually, yes. Actually, I think it's, well, a success story. What is success? I think for me it was a success when we started to work with the Trouble Notes. They had a Patreon they already had it, and they had a fan base, and they knew they have fans that really love them. But what they did was they kind of did the Patreon, they kind of set it all up, and then they did something for 1 month or something, 2 months, and then it was all, they didn't do anything anymore. Which is not cool, because, people give you money all the time, so you kind of should, do content. But of course, as an artist, you have a lot of things to do and everything. So, so when we started to work with them, we were asking them so many questions about their fans and everything, and it was completely clear that they are super good for Patreon. That's perfect. So we started with the decision to make Patreon a priority, or we tried to make it a priority. And so we kind of thought, okay, what kind of content can be Patreon? What kind of content will be still on Facebook and whatnot? So we kind of did a strategy. And I think within a few months, we doubled the amount of people who joined the Patreon. And right now, I think it's 3 or 4 times as many Patreons. So I think it's kind of a success. And it was not, like, what we do as a company is like we help people to find the right strategy for them. We, of course, like Norman and I, we love to create ideas as well, and to kind of think a little bit outside the box when it comes to content as well. But I think our biggest strength is to really, hear what people have to say, what they want, what they are able to do, and we try to create a strategy for them to reach their fans and to communicate with them. So I hope for the Trouble Notes it's a success story as well. Actually, artists, a lot of times artists are so strict with themselves. Like, I mean, I think when I would ask them if they think their Patreon path is a success story right now, they maybe wouldn't say yes. They would say, oh, well, there could have been more. But the thing is, like, it's like they earn like 4 or 5 times as much via Patreon as before. And right now, in the situation where they had to cancel all of their shows, or all of their shows were canceled, like for the next months, the stuff that they get out of Patreon is like huge. So I think it is quite a success story for them, and people shouldn't be that strict to. And actually, this is a good thing when it comes to success stories. A lot of people say, okay, I want more followers, I want this more, that more, more, but don't really define at what point are you like cool with it. When do you feel like, are you happy when you reach this and this and this? And to set goals is, in my opinion, it's super important. This is quite a good question. What is a proper fan base? Yeah, it's a good question. And I think that depends on, well, actually, I think last year I met a guy who, it's also a Patreon story. It's a guy from I really forgot the name, and I'm really sorry, but it was a guy who has a metal band in Dresden, a city in Germany, in Eastern Germany, and he had a lecture stuff, and I think they have 200 or something Patreons, like the really closest fan base of 200 people. And I think they earn that much money that half of the band can survive in a month or something. Like, and I mean, this is only the monetary thing, but a proper fan base, I mean, you define it yourself. I mean, if you feel like you're fine with 500, 400, 300 people, that's fine. But I would never say like a fan base is like your followers on Instagram or your followers on Facebook. Proper fan base are the people who support you, who want to support you, and who buy your CDs, who buy your concert tickets, and who really love you. So I think if you have 50 people who feel that way, then I would say it's a proper fan base. And even if it's 20, it doesn't matter. Like, I think if it's more than 2, you can call it a fan base, don't you? I don't know. And I think it doesn't matter how you call it, like you have to be happy with it. And the cool thing about having a smaller fan base is, of course, that you are able to connect really deeply with them, like people like Taylor Swift. I think she's doing a great job feeling connected with her audience and her fans. She always does this like little thingies, like where she calls her fans, or like lately she donated to a few of her fans, like to survive the whole Corona thingy. And it's something, of course, the media will talk about it because it's so special that such a big artist is donating to her fans. But like she can't serve like all of them at the same time with the same amount of love and time, but she tries to make it happen. And if you have a smaller fan base, you can be really close to a lot of them. And this is a cool thing. And I think everybody has to decide what is best for them. Yeah, so it's already 15 o'clock. Is there any more questions from your side for me? Actually, I have no clue if I talked about the stuff that I wanted to talk about. It's always the problem that I'm a freestyler when it comes to presentations, but I hope I could give you some good advice. I really hope so. And you can, like, even if the session is over now or in a few minutes, I'm happy to answer more questions. Yeah, more questions. Spice Girls? Yeah, I love the Spice Girls. Ah, thank you. Here. Yeah, it's so when I was sitting in the crowd and somebody was presenting stuff, I was always like, I didn't know that it is so important to get some feedback. And now when you're talking to a screen, it's like, oh, please give me feedback. How was it? Do you have a band? Not yet. But maybe I do a Spice Girls revival band with Norman and other people. And Norman can decide what kind of Spice Girl he wants to be. I was always Emma when I was younger, actually. Or I wanted to be Emma because she was so cute. Yeah. See, with all the comedy stuff, like it's if nobody can laugh about your jokes, and I mean that was not a joke, but it's very tough not to get any laughs. Yes, let's spice up our lives. I think so too. So, and maybe this is something I want to say. Big props to Berlin, because, well, I really love what they're doing for artists here in Berlin and in all over Germany. And I would love to do more digital stuff so more people can hear it and anything. I think they are doing a great job in Berlin, and they're the coolest people because they make affordable stuff for artists who wouldn't be able to afford to go to an agency like us and everything. And they managed to build such a nice community, and I hope they can be here for a long, long time. And I really, really think they're cool. And I think you think as well. You think And yeah, thank you so much, Music Pool. You're the best. So let's get it over with. If you have any questions for me, just, I hope I don't delete the video now. I will be very concentrated. Everybody can see it. Thank you, Erica. And hope to see you at a workshop at Music Pool, or well, if you want to visit us, we're in Berlin, Friedrichshain. Say hi, have a coffee with us. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciated it. Thanks. And thanks, Norman. Bye-bye.